in USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MB.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday. Good morning. How you guys feeling?
I'm
Blessed,
feeling
black,
good.
and highly favored.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Good.
man. Yes, yes. Life is good. Nothing to complain about. We alive. We made it to another day. We are breathing.
Yes.
I tell you all the time. Take a deep breath. Because there's a lot of people who can't this morning.
That's
they're
right.
no longer here. So take a deep breath and thank God for another day of life.
Yeah, after the crazy car show over the weekend, and I've been up for like 7 days delivering cars, bringing cars, red carpets, you name it. You name it. Everything that had to be involved with the car show. So yesterday was the first day that I did absolutely positively nothing. I went to sleep at 7:30 and woke up at 5. Boy, did that
You
feel
ain't had no
good.
boiled peanuts. You ain't had no boiled peanuts, though.
I did not have boiled nuts.
I didn't say nuts. I said boiled peanuts. Okay? South Carolina delicacy. All right?
No, I didn't have none of that. I slept.
Well, that's a
Just
good
was
feeling,
boiled
isn't
peanuts
it?
This morning.
It is.
It is a good feeling.
It is.
I'm over here getting ready for Angela Yee Day, which is on Saturday. And one of the most amazing, exciting things to me is that I'm working with the Social Justice Fund. And so every time people hashtag You Belong Here, they donate $200 to 5 different organizations every single time from the Social Justice Fund. So I just want to encourage people to post and use that hashtag You Belong Here. That's the culmination of this whole campaign that the Social Justice Fund has been doing, making sure that they support different organizations to uphold the rights, freedom, and dignity of people threatened by unjust illegal systems here in the United States.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. Are y'all going to have boiled peanuts there, though?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying
They
that.
got-
I
they
don't think so.
You can have them. Boiled peanuts. You can have them.
Why are
All
you so
gotta do is
excited
get
about boiled peanuts?
Man, you know what? One day I'm going to bring some boiled peanuts in there for y'all and let y'all understand why. I had some in there one time.
Somebody
none of y'all
delivered
ate
some.
them,
Nah, we gave them to
Somebody
you.
definitely bought some boiled peanuts up there.
How were they?
Those are gone.
Were they salty?
Amazing. No. You know what? They had some, those were flavored. They had some flavor. Those were flavored, the ones they sent up there. I do like mine, not salty, but just with a pinch of salt, just the right amount of salt.
I miss when
for
on the
boiled
flights they used to give you the honey roasted peanuts.
They still do.
I know those aren't that good for you because it's honey roasted, so it kind of takes away the nutritional.
peanuts. Oh man,
But they are amazing.
Nah, they still do
I
unless
love
somebody
honey
has an allergy.
I like honey roasted cashews. Honey roasted cashews is what hits hard. The honey roasted peanuts, they're like, I like the honey roasted cashews.
My goodness. All right. Well, let's
Boiled
get the show
peanuts, though.
cracking.
It's kind of greedy morning talk.
Yes.
All right. Front page news. What we talking about?
Well, let's talk about this student loan forgiveness policy. The student debt relief plan will tell you who can qualify and how much you're going to get, and we'll talk about extensions for people who have to pay back student loans.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yeezy?
Well, let's start with this whole student loan forgiveness policy. This is the so-called student debt relief plan. So, the deadline for the restart of payments for the $1.7 trillion in federal student loans is coming up. And so Joe Biden announced yesterday a plan to cancel debt for a subset of Americans and also to keep that pandemic era pause on repayments. So speaking from the White House's Roosevelt Room, Joe Biden outlined his plan to forgive tens of thousands of dollars for individuals who earn less than $125,000 per year. Here's what he had to say.
Student loan payments pause is going to end. It's going to end December 30. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022, and it's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume. Second, using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000. Working and middle-class people making under $125,000 a year. If you make more than that, you don't qualify.
So in other words, if you got a Pell Grant, that would mean that you could get $20,000, and that is 60% of borrowers do have Pell Grants. And so that's the larger forgiveness. And a lot of people, so the majority of people will qualify for that $20,000.
Now, is that per year or is that your full college?
That's the full thing. But that is actually going to wipe out a lot of people who still owe money, a lot of their debt. So that could wipe out some people's, if you still only owe $20,000, but you had a Pell Grant, that'll wipe away all of that. And if you still only owe $10,000.
I just wondered, like, a lot of these other countries are able to allow people to go to college for free. Like, if you look at Howard University, right, HBCU, their tuition is $30,000 a year. So 4 years, that's $120,000, right? Now, so that $20,000, they still have $100,000 to pay. And $20,000 is great. I'm not knocking that. But if other places can do it and other countries can do it, why can't we figure out how to do that?
Well, he could still get taken to court because there's these loan servicing agencies. So if you get a government loan, it's different than if you get a private loan. So some of these companies are going to lose revenue and they could take Joe Biden to court in that case.
Listen, I wish that he could wipe all of the loans, wipe all the loans out the way they forgave all the PPP loans, but canceling $10,000 in student loan debt for some is what he promised on the campaign trail. So I'm not mad at it. He kept the campaign promise. That's all you can hope for with these politicians, that they do what they said, they were going to do. And he did it, because that's what he's been promising the whole time. He's promising to cancel $10,000 in student loan debt for some. And that's why, when these politicians like Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona and Vice President Kamala Harris, remember when we would ask them about the $10,000 Biden promised and they would sound crazy and get to tap dancing around the issue? Yeah. They don't have to do that anymore because he did it.
Well, here's how you apply for relief, because I know a lot of people have questions.
In the coming weeks, the Department of Education will lay out in detail a short and simple form to apply for this relief, along with information when this application process opens. By resuming student loan payments at the same time as we provide targeted relief, we're taking an economically responsible course. As a consequence, about $50 billion a year will start coming back into the Treasury because of resumption of debt. Independent experts agree that these actions taken together will provide real benefits for families without meaningful effect on inflation.
Now, if everybody does claim the relief that they're entitled to, 43 million federal student loan borrowers will benefit, and of those, 20 million will have their debt completely canceled. And as far as questions about how you're going to pay for this, where's the money coming from, Joe Biden said there's plenty of deficit reduction that will pay for these proposals. He said, I will never apologize for helping working people and middle-class Americans. Now, according to a law professor at Fordham University, John Brooks, he said the president has some pretty broad authority under the Higher Education Act. A lot depends on the size of the cancellation. The smaller the amount of cancellation, the easier the question is. Wiping out all student debt with a single stroke might be tougher, but the president, through the Secretary of Education, does have the power to adjust the amount of loan principal that any borrower has.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they only ask where the money is coming from when it's actually going to people. Like, they sent $3 billion to Ukraine just yesterday or the day before yesterday. You know what I mean? Or they'll approve an $850 million, defense budget. $850 billion, dollar defense budget, and nobody will complain. So I don't want to hear about where that money is coming from. And please, don't let this be a situation like the small business loans that happened during the pandemic, where black people couldn't get the relief they needed because they didn't properly know how to fill out paperwork to get the funding. I hope this isn't one of those situations.
Well, that is your front page news.
All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm dialing. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm dialing. I'm calling you.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
How's it going, DJ Envy? It's Dennis from New Jersey.
Hey, Dennis, good morning.
Oh, our friend from New Jersey.
Good morning, Angela E.
Good morning.
Angela E, while you're on, may I ask you a quick question? For your show, do I need a ticket? The event that have it by Barclays?
Just come on through. You're supposed to go online and get one. It's free, but we'll be fine. We'll have some tickets for you there.
Thank you kindly. I just wanted to say I really enjoyed the auto show in Atlantic City. It was spectacular.
Oh, thank you, man. You enjoyed it? Did you bring the kids and the family as well, or no?
No, I came in myself, but I can tell easily that you could just walk around forever.
Yeah.
Just because you would always start something new.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for
Hopefully you
always
come next year,
supporting us,
too.
man. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful day, guys.
You too now. Cool guy, man. I like that guy. I wish he'd have came up to me and told me who he was. Hello, who's this?
This Tario, who this is? DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God.
Yes, Tario.
Peace, King.
Good morning. What's up? I'm still on no crazy stallion, Charlamagne, so it's all good. But anyway, make a long story short, I was listening to y'all interview yesterday with Miss Sarita.
Sarita Stibe.
Huh?
Sarita Stibe. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And she was telling me about her influence about music. And then I have a cousin that actually told the judge that Tupac made him do it. And I thought he was joking until I heard what she was saying about Eve. And I just want that to be one of y'all topics for today, man. How do music impact people, man?
Right. Have you ever been impacted by music? Is there a song that made you want to do something?
Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever.
Well, that's a good influence.
Listen, it's so much different records that have influenced us growing up. I don't know why we lie and act like music don't have an influence on us. It has an influence on the way we talk, the way we dress, our actions. I know people who've gone to college because of certain artists. You know what I mean? Like, so why do we act like music don't have an influence? It absolutely does.
But I'm saying the impact.
No, you're right. The City Girls made me want a guy that's going to swipe that visa.
Go ahead, man. I ain't messing with y'all this morning.
What?
Good morning, but Envy, our birthday coming up. You're on the 3rd, I'm on the 4th.
That's right. We're about to celebrate. Virgo season is officially here.
Let's do it.
All right, brother.
Yeah. I didn't hear the conversation yesterday, but that is a good topic, you know what I mean? Because music has influenced so much. Like, I moved out of my mama's house because of, TLC, No Scrubs, and because of Outkast and Goody Mob, Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something. Like,
yeah, she was saying that yesterday.
A hell of an impact.
That she didn't snitch because she remember listening to Rough Riders or Eve
Ride or Die.
So she said that's the reason why she didn't snitch, and she held it down, and she had to serve 10 years because of that. At 19,
a lot of people don't snitch. I mean, not just. I mean, that's street code. But when you take that street code and amplify it in music, yeah, that becomes a message. Of course,
that's right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's time.
She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
All right. Well, it appears that Offset is suing Quality Control. There's also rumors that the Migos have broken up. And I guess they don't follow each other, Offset and then Quavo and Takeoff anymore. Now, Offset posted on Twitter, this new chapter for me is personal. And P from Quality Control said the last lawsuit was filed publicly and dismissed quietly. Let's see how this one go. Been too real for all this lame ish. Everyone know the real problem. And Offset said, N-words act like I'm the problem. I paid millions to get my rights back. You blackballed me. I ain't said ish one time. Homie, I ain't spoke to you in 2 years. Now I drop and you want your name on my credit. And then that's when P from Quality Control let people know the show must go on. Here he is with Lil Baby.
Hey, baby, you see what they say on the back? Read what they say on the back.
Show must go on. Show must go on.
All right, now P also went on Twitter and said, new single Lakia dropped tomorrow night, Back to Business. Docufilm Lil Baby dropped Friday in 150 countries. New Lil Baby album on the way. New Quavo Takeoff album on the way, Back to Business. New Icewear Vezo, DJ Drama, Gangsta Grills edition on the way. He went on and on to talk about what else he has and said, back to business. No time for distractions. Now Cardi B weighed in and said Offset bought himself out of his QC deal after they didn't want to renegotiate his contract. I'm tired of people trying to make Offset look like the bad guy. Enough is enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's all interesting because, if it's one thing we know about QC, they really ride for their artists. P and Coach really care about their artists. But business is business, so I have no idea who's right and wrong in this situation. I just hope that, those brothers resolve it.
Sounds like something for the lawyers. Because I don't know if he, if he did buy himself out of his contract and had his lawyers negotiate that, then he'll be in the right. And if he didn't, then he won't. So it's really something that social media is not going to help you. It's the lawyers.
Yeah, no. It could have been anything. He could have bought himself out the contract, but for the next 2 albums, they get a percentage or something like that. It could be anything, but like Charlamagne said, I hope them brothers work it out. They came up together, so I hope they're able to fix their differences.
Yeah, they're very instrumental for each other's success.
Yeah, and I also saw Offset saying how he wants to grow. He wants to grow as an artist. You know what I mean? So sometimes, the business may prevent you from doing that outside of what you originally signed. So, like I said, I just hope they both resolve it all amicably.
Yeah. I mean, I think about like with Wu-Tang as a group, they were signed to Loud Records, but then each of them went and got their solo deals at different places.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now Nick Cannon has his 10th child on the way.
I thought he was stopping.
And that's his third child with Brittany Bell. So he revealed that. He said time stopped and this happened. And then there's a video of them having a maternity shoot. She looks to be several months pregnant. And yes, again, that's their third child together. They welcomed their son Golden in 2017 and Powerful Queen in 2020.
Okay.
Well, Nick Cannon, drop on the clues box for Nick Cannon. He is now tied with Eddie Murphy with 10 kids. Will he go for 11 people?
Might be another one on the way.
A cool dozen. I'm sure. By the way, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. You might as well just copy and paste this headline for the rest of the time you're on Breakfast Club and when you start your new show, Yee. Nick Cannon is expecting a baby. How many times have you said that in the past year?
A lot.
At least 7 in the last time of the Breakfast Club. At least 7, 8.
Remember he was celibate for like a month?
Oh, nobody believed that. Selling a bit of what? Selling a bit of sperm for people whose sperm don't work? Please.
All right. Vanessa Bryant, a federal jury awarded her $16 million in a lawsuit against L.A. County over the alleged distribution of photos from the crash site where Kobe Bryant and their daughter Gianna died. Another plaintiff, Chris Chester, was awarded $15 million in that same lawsuit. That is for emotional distress, future suffering, and past suffering, and all of that. So Vanessa Bryant did cry with her hands in a prayer position as the verdict was read, and she left afterwards. She did not talk to reporters, and the jury reportedly deliberated for only a few hours after 10 days of testimony. So part of the payments was, you cannot share pictures of deceased people. And so you have to have the sufficient training and policies. The fire department, they said, lacks that sufficient training and policies.
And that was on Kobe Bryant Day, too, right? 8/24.
Yeah, so I'm just happy that she was able to go to court and get the money. Obviously, it's still traumatizing for her.
Absolutely.
But at least she came out.
16 million is cool, but it's not enough. No amount of money is going to be enough. But they should have did something like, give her, 81 million for the 81 points she scored or something crazy. Like 16 million, not enough. Not for that. What she had to go through. Can you imagine that? That's the last thing you would want to see when you're already traumatized. And oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. God bless that family.
Yeah,
man.
and
God
the conversations that they were having, so insensitive. Like, how dare you do that? These are people's lives and family members that have to see this and hear this.
And you a different level of groupie. You know what type of groupie you ought to be doing that? Like, you're only showing those off because it's the remains of Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Like, that's the only reason. Like, that's corny. Corny's an understatement.
All right, well, that is your
ass kicked.
rumor report.
All right. Well, we got front page news next. What we talking about?
Yes, and let's talk about restrictive state abortion laws. They're trigger laws that are set to take effect this week that is going to put access to abortion further out of the reach for millions of women.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
When it's time to get with someone special, the best way to do it is with Magnum large size condoms. That gold foil wrapper is a badge of honor, and it means you're protected. And you take care of things with comfort. Accept no substitutes. Bring the pleasure with the gold standard. Magnum large size condoms.
No matter what time it is.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yeezy?
Well, a lot of restrictive state abortion laws, including so-called trigger laws, are going to take effect this week. And that'll make it harder for about 10.1 million women of reproductive age in 5 different states to get access to abortion. So their access will be impacted by these laws. Idaho, Tennessee, and Texas. Trigger laws will take place in those 3 states starting today, banning abortions with few exceptions. And there's still litigation that continues around certain aspects of that. And then on Friday, North Dakota's trigger law that bans abortions in most circumstances is set to take effect. And then on Saturday, an Oklahoma law enacting higher criminal penalties for performing illegal abortions takes effect. That adds to the already tough laws they have there that prohibit that procedure. So just making sure that you guys are aware of what's going on once Roe versus Wade was overturned.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's talk about Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness policy, how you can apply, who qualifies, all of those things. So Joe Biden says that he is going to forgive $10,000 worth of student loans per person for individuals who earn less than $125,000 a year. And if you have a Pell Grant and you use one of those to pay for college that's given to low-income borrowers, then you qualify for up to $20,000 in debt forgiveness. Here's what he said.
Student loan payments pause is going to end. It's going to end December 30. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022, and it's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume. Second, using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced to $20,000. Working and middle-class people making under $125,000 a year. If you make more than that, you don't qualify.
And that $125,000 is for the 2020 or 2021 tax year. So if you earn less than that in those years, then you should qualify. And if all borrowers claim the relief that they're entitled to, that means 43 million federal student loan borrowers will benefit, and of those, 20 million will have their debt completely canceled.
Yo, did Biden pause that in the beginning?
He did say pause.
Did he say,
I thought he said that pause.
When I give student loan forgiveness, did he say pause?
Yeah, it's a pause on paying back those student loans that happened during the pandemic.
Oh,
pause on the repayments.
I thought he said something gay.
No, I thought he said something. Hey, yo, that's why he paused. He said some forgiveness.
Me too.
Pause.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. Can we hear it again from the top? What he said?
Oh my gosh.
Student loan payments pause is going to end.
He said student payments pause.
Whoa! What are them students paying you for, Joe? Why would he say it like that? Listen, and I know people are saying there should be more money, but the reality is this is what he promised on the campaign trail. And this is what I've been asking these politicians, when they're in office. This is all I want them to do. I want them to keep their promises, okay? Right. That's all I want my politicians to do, especially when it's promises that I know made people go out and vote for them. And a lot of people voted for Biden because of his student loan forgiveness promise. He promised $10,000. He delivered the $10,000. I can't be mad at that.
And according to John Brooks, who's a law professor at Fordham University, that is a major cancellation because it is within the president's authority, but he did say that the size of the cancellation does matter. The smaller the amount of cancellation, the easier it is to get it done. But wiping out all of student debt with a single stroke is a lot tougher. And he does have the authority.
Well, I don't
the
believe
Secretary
that
of Education. Well, I believe it's tougher. I mean, this is, it's federal fiscal policy. So I'm sure it would be harder to get that done.
Yeah, but the reason I don't believe that is because they can they forgave all the PPP loans with no problem. Well, like they gave out billions and billions and billions of dollars and just wiped it away. Like, so they could just, and by the way, they acted like they couldn't give out just $10,000. Like, it was so hard to do. We would ask the Secretary of Education and ask the VP, and they'd be like, they act like it was so difficult. And now it's just all of a sudden got done. But you know why? Because it's a midterm election year, and they got to put some points on the board. So I'm not mad at it.
Well, let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts on the $10,000 forgiveness, right? Me personally, I see all the money they give to all these other countries. I seen every time they try to bail everybody out with all these PPP loans and all these huge corporations giving them millions and millions and millions of dollars. Other countries figured it out. Why can't we? That's my thoughts. But let's talk about it. 800.
Envy, I agree with that. But that, to me, that's a whole other conversation because the reality is this is what he promised. He didn't promise anything more. He didn't promise anything less. He said $10,000, in student loan debt forgiveness. That's what he said on the campaign trail. Well, so he got it done. Do I agree it should be more? Absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
This is what he promised.
800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with The Breakfast Club.
Talk about it.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, Joe Biden recently said that he's excusing $10,000, correct?
Well, $10,000 if you make less than $125,000. And if you have a Pell Grant, which is for lower income, then you'll get $20,000 excused.
So we're asking 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts? What do you think, E?
I mean, I wish I would have had that. You know, it took me 12 years to pay back my student loans, and it was definitely a struggle. And it is going to forgive a lot of student loans for people who, you know, don't have as much left to pay off. And so I think it does help a lot. And so I'm glad it happened. I don't think it's happened before. And yeah, I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's glad anytime anybody can take any type of money off, but I do wish it was a lot more. And especially when I see them helping so many other countries and helping so many other corporations, and these corporations that are making billions of dollars, and all these other countries are able to allow their residents and citizens to get school loans for free. You know, that where they go to school for free. So I absolutely love it, but I wish there was more. Charlamagne?
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, that was his campaign promise. He's been on that. He's been on the whole $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. So I respect it. You know, I know any relief is great relief, especially at a time like this when people are struggling so much financially. And yes, I wish it was more, but once again, the reality is this was his campaign promise. It was politicians out there who wanted to wipe away the debt altogether, like Bernie Sanders. But that's not who people voted for. They voted for, you know, Joe Biden.
And there's politicians who didn't want anybody to get anything.
That is true too. Yeah. Well, let's go to the phone lines. Let's talk to the people. Hello, who's this?
This is Dee.
Hey, D, good morning. Where you calling from?
I'm in North Carolina.
All right. What's your thoughts on the $10,000 forgiveness?
I don't think it's enough money. First of all, you know, they calculate those student loan payments into the ability to buy a house. So a lot of people are still counting out. It's a lot of older adults who got like over $100,000, maybe $200,000 worth of student loan debt. And when you go to buy a house, they say no because the payment that they factor in is too much.
That is true.
He gave way too much money to Ukraine with no blink, no vote. It didn't take him no time. But all of a sudden, these $10,000, you got a hard time giving $10,000. And then, I don't know if you guys read the fine print. It says up to $10,000. Mm-hmm. It's not just
I thought $10,000 was the minimum. Oh,
no,
okay. Yeah, I thought $10,000 was the minimum.
And that's ridiculous. So, you know, luckily I make more than six figures. So, that it might hurt me, but, you know, other people, it's a lot of money. I mean, that's no money. $10,000, what are you going to, that's interest.
Now, don't say that now. That is a lot of money to some of these people, especially people that are doing horribly financially right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot for some people, but then other people, it's really not. I still believe he could have gave way more. He not your 50.
Yeah, it's not enough for your balling ass.
No.
And let's be clear. The Republicans are saying that this is unfair, and they don't think that this is something that even should be done at all. They slam this. They're upset about it.
Well, it's not. That's the problem, though. It's not just Republicans. Politicians have a problem with actually giving money to people. It is so strange to me. Whenever it's people that actually need money, they can never find it. They don't know where the money coming from. But when it's money for wars, you know, that money comes out of nowhere.
Bailouts,
they give billions to Ukraine.
They get it immediately. Bailouts as well. All right.
Corporations, nobody has any problem with wondering where that money comes from. But when it's something for the people, now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, where are we going to get the money?
Hello, who's this?
Hey, good morning. This is Zay from Myrtle Beach.
Hey, Zay, good morning.
Myrtle.
What's up, Envy? Yeah, listen, man, I'm thankful for Biden. I'm grateful. I voted for Biden personally, and I'm grateful. I was looking forward to this because for people like me, I went to a community college, so my total, my loan is only like $27,000. So, and I got the Pell Grant. So if I get $20,000, I'm sitting outside work trying to figure out how to apply right now.
We're gonna find out in the coming days, so we'll get all that information and make sure we pass it on too.
No, that's the most important part of this. That's the most important part because during the when they was giving them small business loans out, that's why a lot of people couldn't get small business loans because they didn't know how to properly fill out the paperwork. It was the people who could properly fill out the paperwork that got that money faster. Even the scammers. The scammers knew how to fill out the paperwork better than some people who actually needed it.
800-585-1051. So Joe Biden said that he is keeping his promise. $10,000 he's giving everybody for their school loans. Possibly could be more. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Call me.
Add your opinion to the Breakfast Club topic.
Come on.
800-585-1051.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Joe Biden. He is, I guess, forgiving $10,000 and more. Can we hear it?
Student loan payments pause is going to end. It's going to end December 30. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022, and it's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume. Second, using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000. Working and middle-class people making under $125,000 a year. If you make more than that, you don't qualify.
So we're asking 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts on this? Hello, who's this?
Hello, how are you?
Good morning. What's your name?
Brooklyn Renee, how are you guys?
Hey, Brooklyn Renee, talk to us. What are your thoughts?
Brooklyn Renee.
Oh, God. This student loan thing is just the craziest thing. I retired. I was in a loan forgiveness program, right? You have to make 120 payments, right? Now, I got 18 payments left. They gonna tell me I gotta get, after I retired after 38 years, I gotta work. Joe going a non-profit job or go back to work 35 hours. I only can make one payment at a time because I was gonna take it with my deferred comp money and pay it off. But that's not an option because you only can pay one payment a month. So it's like it's stuck in this bundle where you can't get out. And it's off the Fed loan, everything. Now this forgiveness program, that ain't working for me. Because $10,000 ain't gonna do me no good. Then on top of that, I worked for AmeriCorps for 3 sessions, and they give you $3,000. They can't find my money. My first loan person was Sally Mae, and that don't qualify to dismiss because it has to be a school that got a problem. It is too confusing, too frustrating. You know, I wrote the president 3 times. He ain't answered me back. Somebody else in the office answered me back. It's like it's insane. You know, and
so let me ask you a question. So you don't want the $10,000 is what you're saying.
I don't qualify for the $10,000. They said you have to make.
But if you did, would you want it?
That's not an option. You know why? Because I have a good pension. Okay, even though I'm getting one. That's another thing. I'm getting 1/3 of a doggone pension since doggone January because they're so backed up. That's not an option for me. So I'm gonna be stuck with this stupid loan. But I'm gonna keep writing. I'm just disgusted with the whole thing. Right. And for you to be forgiven, the first one, it has to be I went to a university. I went to City College in New York. Okay, I got my master's. Well, it's just insane.
Well, why do you say you don't qualify?
He said $10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make $125,000.
No, you have to make less than $125,000.
I don't make that.
I know you make less than
that. Means you're good.
Oh, you make more than that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's like even the one from before is not an option for me. I'm gonna keep writing them because I'm tired. Keep writing. He's gonna think I'm a stalker or something. Find something for me because the first one was your school. You had to have an issue with your school. The schools and those are those little side colleges and stuff. But if you was in a university, everything was good. Okay, so it's just bull. I'm just frustrated.
Okay, I feel it.
I don't want to take my deferred comp, my money that I saved and worked for, and pay off this loan. I owe 36 G's, and I'm just like tired.
Damn.
You know, it's just disgusting.
Well, thank you for calling in, Mama.
That works for everybody. Y'all have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Let's go to another caller. Hello, who's this?
This is Jack.
Hey, what are your thoughts,
upset,
Jack?
Why you sound so mad, Jack?
Oh, I'm not mad. Good morning. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What's
Good
your
morning.
thoughts,
You
Jack?
sound a little angry and a little.
You definitely sound a little angry.
Angry
Jack.
angry white man.
Oh, you're going there.
Talk to us, Jack. What's happening?
Right off the bat. Hey, I think the loan forgiveness is just weak pandering, and I think it's unfair and unfair against those people that have worked the hardest. When you do that, you de-incentivize people from working hard. That hurts the country, and it's just a bad plan. you guys compared it to the PPP loan, and the PPP loans or whatever that PPP situation was, that was fair because it was unbiased. It didn't hurt people that worked the hardest.
Oh no, it was definitely biased.
The opposite.
It was biased. It was systemically proven that it was biased.
How do you figure that?
There were a lot of major corporations that got that money that really didn't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, before small minority-owned businesses.
Yeah, and then for people who for a small business, you might pay people cash. You might not have the right paperwork.
It's facts, Jack.
Well, if you didn't have a good accountant that could apply for it for you, it was a lot of paperwork that was confusing.
Oh, see, now you're making stuff up because I am a small business owner, and I did a PPP loan, and it was the easiest application that I've done for anything in my life.
You do know that a lot of people that deserve to get it didn't get it, though, right? And that they ran out of money.
Well, again, you guys.
My brother, Jack.
I'll give you that one, man. They did run out of money.
Well, not only that, Jack. I mean, there's a million articles from the New York Times to the Washington Post that talked about the racial bias that skewed small business relief lending. So, I mean, you can sit here and say that's not a fact, but it was absolutely a fact.
You know what? You can have a study that
it's a fact. It is a it's a fact that racial bias affected who received PPP loans.
I do know personally a lot of people who applied that should have gotten it.
Doesn't make it. Just saying that doesn't make it true. They didn't ask my rate when I received it. It was like a 3-question application. Bing, bang, boom, paid me the money, and so it's about getting it together and clicking 3 buttons,
Jack,
and they paid the PPP.
Do you know black business owners were more likely to get PPP loans from online lenders than from banks? And I mean, it's been documented a million times how racially biased the bank system is. But you do agree with that, right?
I don't think that made sense what you just said. With all due respect, you said they were black business owners were more likely to get it from local banks. Okay. What's that mean?
No, I said online. I said online lenders than from banks.
So they don't see you.
See how white people
but let me ask you this: so you think that there shouldn't be any student debt loan forgiveness?
The only way you could get the PPP loan was by online. It wasn't in person. So that was a invalid point. So go ahead, ma'am. Sorry.
I was asking you. So you think that there shouldn't be any student loan forgiveness?
I do not think so. I think it can. That's fine. But how do you reconcile that with those people that, did not go to college, that are out there digging ditches or being a plumber or electrician or working hard because they did not have the funds to go to college? They had to support their families or whatever. They sacrificed. So now you're punishing them by forgiving loans for college students that took advantage of college lending. So it's imbalanced, and I think that's unfair.
I think. Well, Jack,
but
Jack,
he's entitled to his opinion.
Stop. Yeah. Mr. Ass is entitled to his opinion. But Jack, listen, I want to ask you this about student loan debt. You think in the future it should be set up with a forgiveness plan in place like PPP? Because college loans were set up to take out the loan with intentions of paying it back. So, that's just how it's designed. You think in the future student loan debt should be set up with more of a forgiveness plan like PPP was? What do you think about that?
I think if the government wants to take a fair action, they should go after the universities to lower their pricing. It's just got to be equal to everybody. In nature, we reward those that advance themselves, right? So I think it's against nature to first give people money to go to school when others are sacrificing. For instance, I waited to get married. Yeah, I waited to get married and have kids until I could afford it, right? I didn't I was out there working. So I sacrificed, and many people maybe skip medical care for themselves and make other sacrifices to be responsible.
What's wrong with assistance, Jack?
I just want to say, but even with PPP loans, does that mean that you're punishing people who don't own businesses?
No, because they're employing people. That's the purpose of it, is they're keeping their employees, and that's why they got the PPP loans.
Oh, we'll see.
That's not.
Well, Jack, a lot of people didn't go to college because they can't afford to go to college, and they can't afford to do it. So hopefully,
that's why they got loans.
will help them with the loans. And it just doesn't help minorities. It helps white people. It helps Asian people. It helps black people. It helps Spanish people. It helps everybody. But the fact that you can now go to school and not have to work until you're 60 years old, paying off your school loan and get some type of help, that's what we're trying to offer people, not just minorities, not blacks, not Spanish. They didn't put a little side and said only black people, Jack. They said for everybody.
Well,
Jack is a pull them up by the bootstraps type of person.
Racial thing.
Jack, we got to joke.
Yeah, Jack, we
gotta
go.
Jack. It is.
One more.
Well, thank you.
It's
always
those
racial.
People that are working hardest and saved and paid cash for their college or paid their loans off already. Those are the people.
But what's wrong?
I will say this: I went to college. I paid
you.
off my student loans, and I'm not mad at other people not having to have that crippling effect of having to pay that monthly payment every month and working. I remember I was making like $23,000 a year and paying student loans at the same time, and I kept having to defer my loans. But I think this is a great thing and a great benefit. And just because I didn't get it doesn't mean that I don't want other people to not get it.
All right. Well, we got rumors on the way.
It's simple. But it's simple for me. Why wouldn't you just provide somebody assistance? Why are you mad at people receiving some type of assistance? It's really just that simple. And it was a campaign promise. He kept it. He always said it was going to be $10,000 in student loan debt. If you wanted someone who wanted to erase all the student loan debt or who wanted to erase more than $10,000, then you should have voted for that person. Because Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders wanted to do more or all. If you wanted that, you should have voted for them. Simple.
All right. Well, we got rumors on the way.
Yes, and let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion and Young Miami. Okay, let's talk about their interview that is going to be dropping, I believe, today.
All right. We'll get to it next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Listen up. It's just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, a new episode of Carisha Please airs tonight on Revolt, and in the teaser trailer for the episode, you can see that Megan Thee Stallion is the special guest, and it felt a little spicy.
It's no need for nobody to be mad at nothing. You want to kiss me? I want to kiss you. You a yeah, I would. I felt like you ain't really with me, and I'm like, damn. Why would I have like any problem? Me and you would have been together before these got in the picture. Yes, bitch. Period. Bitch, shut the up talking to me. Like, why are you talking to me? Ignore y'all how y'all father do. Hello. Like, so okay, you like girls? I mean, I like what I like. I like you. So who on top? Me. Well, we go real good.
Okay, felt a little spicy.
All right.
A little tension there. Is kind of like being at work with you and Charlamagne.
No, that is not true. By the way, that is not true at all. Okay, because we don't play about it. We just do it, right, Envy?
What?
Which one of you would be? Which one of you would be Young Miami?
We don't beat around the bush.
And which one of you would be Megan Thee Stallion?
I would be Young Miami. I am definitely Carisha. Carisha to God. I don't know.
Would
I
you
just
be
feel her
Carisha?
energy. I am that because I don't know. The city girls are more my spirit animals than Meg. Salute to Meg though, but I would definitely be.
You dance more like Meg Thee Stallion though.
No. Just because I got good knees don't mean that I would be Meg Thee Stallion. By the way, okay. And Carisha can dance too as well. I just know I would be Carisha in this situation. You Meg, all right?
Well, I'm gonna ask the question. They
You
said,
gonna kiss me or not?
Who would be on top for you two?
Charlamagne's a
Me.
bottom.
I'm clearly a power top.
No,
out
you're
your
clearly
damn
a
mind.
bottom.
You guys are having a real struggle
I
this
am
morning.
clearly. I
need you to get on the same page with each other.
Crazy?
You
That
know
is
what?
not true.
You guys discuss this offline, and we'll bring it back later.
You
so
are.
come
You
to.
did not. No. Now, all jokes aside, you can imagine Envy laying on his stomach, looking back before me. I am a power
not
top.
at
You
all.
know,
I feel like there was
you are beige power bottom.
There was a
No,
picture of
not at all.
Charlamagne. Well, it looked like Charlamagne, and so
Right,
therefore
you
I
can
see you.
know
as-
damn well that-
Charlamagne
you know
look
damn
like he's
well that
comfortable
wasn't
laying
me.
on his stomach.
I don't know nothing.
I am a power top clearly. And
All right,
you
now-
notice you
a
beige
bottom.
bottom. That's what you want me to be, but it's not true.
All right, guys.
How did we get here?
That's
Go ahead,
enough.
G.
All right, Ray J and Princess Love and Hip Hop Miami. As you know, last year Ray J filed for divorce from Princess Love, and now a lot of that situation is playing out on the show. And here's a clip that actually went viral, and tell me what you think.
One. Oh, one. Okay. Guess how many I've ever talked to in our relationship? None.
You're a liar. All you want to do
You grew a
is...
connection with somebody. You like somebody. I've never liked nobody. That's a problem. Whether I got my by a random in the alley or not. I don't know this name.
It makes it better?
Yet you like it, and building a relationship with somebody is deep, and I've never done that.
So it's okay for him to sleep with a bunch of women as long as he doesn't care about them, but let her form a bond with one person, and that's the problem.
Hey, I get what he's saying. And by the way, that's a great topic. Like, what's the worst cheating violation? Physical contact or an emotional bond? Because here's the thing. Ray J can say that, but let Princess Love give somebody fellatio in the alley. And use the same rhetoric. All I did was give him some in the alley.
The other issue she had was that Ray J had other women wearing her clothing in their house.
Oh no! See, that's violated.
Weird.
I didn't know that.
That's wild.
That's why that didn't. I don't. By the way, I don't believe that happened. Where you get that information from?
That was part of the episode. That was part of the conversation they were having.
That's
wild.
And he said,
"No, black men don't cheat." That's wild.
And he said, "I almost died in the hospital, and I'm dying, and you're still thinking about bitches wearing your clothes. That's not right."
That black men don't cheat. You making?
I gracefully bow out of this conversation.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Now
wearing my clothes.
Yeah,
that's a violation.
Envy, let's go back to flirting with each other. I don't believe this is the charges being brought against our good brother Ray J this morning.
Imagine your woman had another guy wearing your robe.
I don't know what you're talking about, G.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
this is wild.
This is uncomfortable. This is awkward.
Is wild. If Ray J's doing stuff like this, we gotta have an emergency meeting with our brother Ray J.
Absolutely.
No, we gotta have an emergency meeting and sit him down because this is too much. I don't believe this stuff.
All right, well
black
that
men don't cheat.
Is your rumor report.
All right, Charlamagne. Now, who are you giving your donkey to? You power bottom, you.
I am not a power bottom. I am a power top, and you know this.
No, you're not.
All right.
Come on, give us the donkey.
Who's giving it to? Be awkward. No. I'm gonna let it sit here and be awkward for a minute until you admit that I am a power top.
That is not true.
You guys are both power used.
All right. Power used. Four after the hour. 4 after the hour, donkey today is going to a school district in Missouri. They need to come to the front of the congregation. They want to put wood to our kids' asses. We need to discuss.
See, you play too much. All right, we'll get to that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Samsung's new Galaxy Z Flip 4 and Z Fold 4 are foldable, self-standing phones that let you capture hands-free selfies. Pre-order the Galaxy Z Flip 4 or Z Fold 4 at Samsung.com now to get a free storage upgrade in case. Valid August 10th through August 25th, 2022. See terms and conditions that apply.
I was born a donkey.
It's the donkey of the day.
It's time for the donkey of the day. That's pretty funny.
Charlamagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Yes, donkey of the day for Thursday, August 25th. It is Thursday, right? I be getting my days wrong. I said it was Thursday on Monday, so technically that would make today Sunday in my world. But don't listen to me. I'm just halfway a word that begins with re and rhymes with started that we can't say anymore. So listen, donkey of the day for today is going to a school district in Missouri. I'm talking the whole school district as a staff, record label, and mother effing crew. Okay, it's the Cassville School District to be exact, because they recently announced that it will reinstate spanking this school year. That's right, good old-fashioned corporal punishment, but of course with a parental caveat. Let's go to KY3 for the report, please.
An old school discipline method is returning to some Missouri schools. Madison Horner spoke to parents and administrators at Cassville schools about its decision to bring corporal punishment back.
Cassville Superintendent Merlin Johnson tells me the policy change is a result of a survey sent out to staff, students, and parents in May.
One of the suggestions that came out was concerns about student discipline, and so we reacted by implementing several different strategies, corporal punishment being one of them.
Dr. Johnson says this change will give principals one more disciplinary option before students receive more serious punishments such as suspensions. Administrators say it would be the last resort for parents and faculty members if other means of discipline do not work.
They will allow spanking in schools, but only as a last resort and with written permission from parents. Any parent that allows their child to be beat by anyone in this school district is a complete and total sucker. I'm telling you right now, paddling a child, beating a child, spanking a child, whatever you want to call it, is the most useless form of punishment ever. I am triggered by this story because they have a picture. What is this? I think it's the USA Today. They have a picture in the USA Today, right, of a wooden paddle that has holes in it. Anybody who went to Berkeley Middle School in Moncks Corner, South Carolina in the 1900s remembers an assistant principal by the name of, you know what, I don't even want to say his name because people be attempting lawsuits for the craziest things, so I won't say his name, but he was a big-ass, boss hog-looking white man who had a wooden paddle with holes in it, and boy, he used to tear our asses up. Okay, on the contrast, it was another assistant principal at Berkeley Middle School, whose name I won't say. He was black, and he had a little deformed hand, right? And he used to paddle us, but he wasn't as strong as the other dude, okay? I don't know if it's because he had a deformed hand. You know, it was really just a nub. So maybe because he had a deformed hand, he couldn't grip the paddle like a baseball bat with both hands and swing the paddle with all his might. And his paddle didn't have holes in it. So I figure between the big white man size, right, the fact he could hold his paddle with two hands and the fact he had holes in his wooden paddle so the wind couldn't slow the velocity of that wood to your ass paws down, you know, that's why he hit so hard. And me being the shite I am, I used to beg to not be sent to the principal with the nubby hand who didn't hit as hard because I knew that if I acted like he was the one I feared the most, that's where they would send me. The moral of the story is those beatings did nothing for me. Okay, they did absolutely nothing but scar me for life. And I know it takes a village to raise a child, but those two principals weren't part of my village. All right, when we say village, we mean the people who can sit at your grandma's house and get a plate. If you can sit at grandma's house and get a plate, you part of the village. But here's another thing. Our parents should have never given all those people the authority to put hands on us either. All these people dealing with their own personal problems and personal traumas, projecting that pain on the kids, F that. Okay, I'm saying all that to say I don't believe in beatings on any level. No corporal punishment, spankings, paddlings, none of that. I don't put hands on my own churn, so I'm not going to give somebody else permission to do that. Okay, now we can get into a whole debate on whether or not, you know, folks should spank their own children, but I am absolutely against giving a school permission to put hands on my child. There's too many, you know, covert racists on this planet, too many covert child abusers in these positions of power to allow this. All right, you're not about to be traumatizing my kids because you mad. All right, I don't like beatings, all right, at all. I literally was walking downstairs with an extension cord yesterday, and I said to myself, how could my father have ever beaten me with one of these? Okay, it comes a point in time where we have to realize the punishment we received as children was actually abuse. All right, it's nonsense. It's nonsense that we learned from our oppressors. The same way the white slave owners, you know, used to beat our ancestors to keep them in line. It's the same energy that is being administered in these corporal punishments. And just like a lot of the enslaved, it didn't cause us to get in line. It caused us to rebel and hate the person on the other end of that whip, or in this case, a paddle or belt or extension cord, whatever it is. Once again, if you are a parent who gives this school or any school permission to beat your kids, then guess what? You need your ass beat. Okay? You a complete and total sucker. Please let Remy Ma give the Cassville School District in Missouri the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
Yeah, and I agree. Discipline is necessary for good upbringing, but not physical abuse. All right. There's a difference. And discipline doesn't have to be physical at all. Miss me with that. And don't come at me with that spare the rod rhetoric from the Bible. Okay. Take that rod and shove it up your own ass.
Oh.
Jeez.
All right. Excited just now. Whoa.
Well, all right. Well, when we come back, Nadine Sutherland will be joining us. She's going to be performing at Angela Yee Day this Saturday in Brooklyn.
Yeah, she started off as an artist at the age of 11, but you know her from some songs like Action with Terra Fabulous, Wicked. Can I say the D word? That's not, I mean, it's a whole different thing. Of course, the song with Snow and Buju Banton and Beanie Man and all of that.
What's the D word?
Wicked.
Wicky Icky. Wicky Icky.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
I forget Charlamagne.
Never
all right, well, we're going to be touching
Huh?
Like Richard?
Yes.
Yes.
You know that
The
song
one that
with
rhymes with
Buju Banton.
Yes.
Got you.
Wicked.
Okay.
Icky.
All right. Well, Nadine Sutherland will be joining us when we
like
come
the
back.
pants, the clothing line.
So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Thursday in December, it's going to be 43 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I won Tasty Talent Contest when I was 11 in Jamaica. I love to boast. I was the first winner.
There you go.
And then immediately
11
I
years
started
old.
working with Tough Gong, and at the helm at that time was Bob Marley. So I had the wonderful experience of working. My first recording session was with Bob.
Wow. Who can say that? My first record
I
was with Bob Marley.
Like, immediately say that because
Only
sometimes I
legend.
still pinch myself. Like, you know.
Well, tell us how it was getting into the industry back then and how your grind was and the journey was when you first started off.
It was so natural and a little bit easy for me because I was always the little girl singing on stage, singing around the community. So I guess I was considered somewhat a little bit precocious. Grandmother catch me singing on a jukebox and give me 2 slaps in my head. It was, you know, young ladies were not supposed to be able to move their waistline like how I did as a little child, you know. And then somebody saw me, and it was somebody in my community who entered Tasty Talent Contest, and he came back and he was like, Nadine, I think it would be good for you. And I did it. The first round, I won. And in the second round, the grand finals, which was in December, I won. And part of my prize was a recording contract with Tough Gong. Bob at that time was alive. That was his vision. Because, you know, if you know Bob Marley's story, I heard from my father that his name, The Wailers, because they wailed so much because of the pain that they experienced through, you know, some unscrupulous producer. So he wanted life for younger artists to be better. So he facilitated that with his Tough Gong. You know, at that time, Bob, a big superstar and everything. So I got that opportunity as an 11-year-old girl, recorded my first song, Starvation on the Line. He was in the studio because, you know, I was his little project. I didn't spend a lot of time with him because, you know, after that, I think he transitioned the next year, went on to Zion. Yeah, so that was my start. And I was just, you know, I won a talent contest and I went in. So at that time, it wasn't really difficult, you know.
I got to ask you this because obviously we know you from Terra Fabulous, the song Action, featuring Nadine Sutherland too. How old were you when you did that song?
I think I did a song, I call that my second coming. I did a song, Action was probably done when I was 23 as a demo.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it was a demo for me because at that time I went to London. I auditioned for Soul to Soul. Karen Wheeler left. The whole story behind that. I was the girl that was chosen to be the front girl. The managers hated each other, and I think hate is very mild. They it was like they disliked each other. There's no word to describe that. So, you know, my manager then suggested that I come back to Jamaica and do dancehall, which was okay for me, you know, because that was my culture. They were trying to steer me into a more R&B line. So I came back to Jamaica, did Action as a demo for Dave Kelly.
Okay.
But what happened is that the rhythm just took off in the dancehall. So if you see the journey of Action, it's very, very, very strange. You see, initially it was Nadine Sutherland and Terra Fabulous because I was out there before the dancehall of the 90s came out. I was a child star in the 80s. So it was released in Jamaica, then was released in the ethnic market, and then Terra got signed to East West Electra. So because it was their artist, they had Terra Fabulous. So that's the history of Action, and it's still being a history. Because I still can't believe that it's still a hot record. And I'm like,
still, you actually did the dub plate for Kamala Harris for her campaign too. With
I did with Action. I was asked, and yeah, I did. Yeah.
Now you also were on Wicked D.
Yeah,
that's another classic song. And I remember singing that as a kid, not knowing what I was talking about.
Angela, that's another story though with Wicked D though, because Wicked D, it was Wicked and Wild, a nice, wonderful song. Ooh wah, ooh wah, ooh wah. And Buju had D. So I was in London 1 year, and I was at my friend's house, and I went to a Jamaican recording studio, record selling place, and the man said, "Congratulations, record store." The man said, "Congratulations on your #1 song with Buju Banton." And I'm like, "What you talking about, sir?" And that time I think some stush, you know, back in Jamaica, you know, you should speak a certain way, young ladies. I was like, "Sir, I don't have a song with Buju Banton." I'm like, "My girl, you have a song with Buju Banton." I'm like, "Sir, I do not have a song with Buju Banton." The man started to get angry and all kind of ways with me, and I'm saying, "I'm gonna play your song." By that time he was heated. But I just never knew. And when I heard my song, and I heard ooh, 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 and then the unmistakable voice of the Banton going, So that's how I found out. I was like, when I go back to Jamaica, I'm going to say Donovan Jermaine. I'm going to have it out with him. So that's how I learned that I had a song with. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, how were you protected in the industry at such a young age, at 11 years old, being in this business, which can be really tough, especially for a young girl, too. So coming up, like, who was around you to make sure that you were good?
I must say, there were definitely predators. Let me get it out there. We have some sick people in the world. But what I'm very, very thankful for is that I had a father. And I had a father who could see what I couldn't see. His eyes were accustomed to, I guess, how men would look at women. So I was walking around with, I'm an 11-year-old kid, come on, just getting into high school. So I'm very thankful that I had a strong male figure in my life that was a lion. He was a lion, and I cannot thank him enough, because I basically went through a stage of my life being able to be a kid and being unscathed by a lot of stuff that is in the music industry. Right now, even my comfort zone, when I go anywhere, it's my family. I always say my posse, it's my family. So I keep it really tight in my life because I feel more comfortable, just being around people who know me and, yeah.
And I also
have to big up Mrs. Marley also. Oh. She had girl children. She had, young women, Sidella and Sharon. So she understood about protecting young women. And at a stage of my life, along with my father, she was very, very protective. So I have to big them up.
I saw you put her in the video Queen.
Yes,
that you did. And Miss Pat is in that video as well. Featured pictures.
Portia Simpson, who was the first Jamaican Prime Minister, first Jamaican female Prime Minister, and Babsy Grange. And I chose those women specifically because I felt that they embodied what the lyrics of Queen is all about. And you too. I hear that you're going and do your own thing.
Oh, yeah, yes, I am.
Be up yourself.
That's right. And I'm excited because this Queen will be performing at Angela Yee Day.
Yeah.
I just saw you too in Queens.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, is that Nadine Sutherland up there? I wasn't sure if they were playing your music or if you were performing it at first. And then I was like, oh, she's really here.
I had a great time on that show at Roy Wilkins. Right, the VP Jerk Fest.
Yes,
I'm still living it because I got a chance to bubble. I was like, oh my God, any opportunity to wind up myself is wonderful.
All right, we got more with Nadine Sutherland. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Nadine Sutherland. She's performing at Angela Yee Day this Saturday. Now, Yee?
I got to ask you, what is your diet? Like, you look amazing. Just to see... Just even from when you were younger up until now, like, what's your self-care routine?
My self-care routine is, I say I'm a flexitarian. So I can go vegan for a while and then I eat seafood, but I don't go over. I'm not an excessive eater, and I'm not an excessive eater of carbs. I don't smoke. I take my red wine in the evenings, probably. I don't excessively drink.
Okay.
I drink a lot of water, and I dance back in the day, so I still go dance classes. I still go to the gym. I still do a lot of cardio because especially now that I'm getting back on stage, and when the music hit me, I feel no pain. I love to dance and I love to entertain. So that too. But I think a lot have to do in my mindset. I'm a meditator. I'm into spiritualism. I remember I wanted to see Charlamagne. I wasn't to say that interview he did with Deepak Chopra was so impressive. So I really try to keep myself in a zone of positivity and just like, I believe that good health is a holistic thing. It's a mind-body thing, and I'm into all of that. So I think that has helped me.
Now, you talk about whining, right? So as a young girl, young girls whine.
Yes.
In America, I guess they would twerk.
Yeah.
The other day, I guess somebody was performing at a high school and people had a problem
Erica
with
Banks.
her. If she was 23 years old. I didn't have a problem with it because when I was in high school, my wife was whining on her head. You know what I mean? Like, that was the dance back then.
Right.
I didn't see anything wrong with it. So what do you tell? Because even you said your grandmother or your mother popped you when you were whining. So what do you say to those people? Because that's
the funniest thing. I did cultural studies, and one of the things that I recognize is what you call cellular memory. And people who have Africa in them, and that don't necessarily mean that it's in your blood, but it's also in your culture. Like some places of Latin America, I notice a lot of people whine. We use our buttocks and we twerk. People who are exposed to that kind of culture. Unfortunately, people seize through different lenses, and you see it and it's associated with a kind of life, and unfortunately it is usually complemented with a certain lifestyle. I knew when I was whining I just could dance, and I thought it was wonderful. And I think sometimes a lot of young people who are whining is something that, as I say, cellular, it's cultural, they just whine, and people see through different lenses, and sometimes it's some Victorian lenses, and it don't necessarily mean that it's
sexual,
right? But then in some sense, when you look at where it came from in terms of sex, let's speak honestly with sex. There's a lot of stuff with sex. Sex is a very natural thing. Being sexual is natural. I guess there are narratives that they associate it with, and I guess in some sense when you associate sexuality with certain narratives, it becomes this darkened evil thing, which it's not. In Africa, it was celebrated as something as natural. So when you do like that, it's life. This is how you came. This is how I came. It's a part of life. Sexuality is a part of life. Unfortunately, some things are now attached to it. I believe in time and space and understand that irrespective of we can intellectualize it and have this explanation, society dictates certain things. So there's time and space. And I don't believe in some sense that in certain spaces, certain things should be done because of certain attachment to those actions. So I don't know what happened. You're giving me a very, very wide thing.
I'm just asking about the dance. I was giving an example. Yeah.
Okay, the dance, wine away.
No,
what about going to carnival, right? And so let's just say, my man goes to carnival, and then I see video of him all up on these girls, and he's like, no, it's nothing. That's just the culture of it, and that's
the culture of it. But again, I don't know if my man go carnival and I see my home pom woman, I'm gonna appreciate it. Let's be honest. It's like, okay, honey, and So
it's a no, and you're not gonna let anybody grind up on you.
No.
What about daggering?
No. No, you're not going to dagger me. You're not going to wind up on me. I believe in some sense that if I choose somebody to dance and dagger with, probably I'm from a different kind of age group and a different kind of mentality. But I don't want no man come behind me and come dagger me or whatsoever, and not for entertainment purposes at all.
I was going to ask, what are your thoughts on Afro beats? Because Afro beats,
niceness.
So it comes from dancehall. It feels like, right?
Yeah, it's amazing to see just everything in terms of culture and the influence of, as I say, Africa. Because dancehall is where our music is concerned. It's the most African in terms of the speaking and the rhythm, and to see that it go right back to Africa and it's the same thing. So you're just like, it was exciting when I heard Afrobeat. I was like, look at the world, it's always this mixture and people listening and people, ingesting stuff and then reproducing it, and it's just so exciting. And then new cultural forms always emerge and all of that. I sound like a cultural studies scholar. All right, I don't know.
Who do you like today? Like, what younger artists are you like? Okay, they're next. I would love to work with them.
Well, Coffee is the next. She's doing what she's doing. I love Coffee. I love everything about her as a writer. Some of Shenshia's songs I like very, very much. I like Chronics.
Okay.
Chronics. I love Chronics. Nowadays, some of the stuff that Jada Kingdom does. I mean, I have one, and I guess some people find it obscene, but I find it's very creative.
Right.
I can look at a work of art, and I am not a woman who likes a lot of profanity, but I can see artistry in music, and I really like her new song. I can say the acronym GPP.
And who is your Mount Rushmore of dancehall artists?
So I'm stuck in the 90s, all right?
That's fine.
Cool. I'm stuck in the 90s.
Okay.
Sizzla Kalonji. Terror Fabulous. Terror Fabulous.
One more.
I like Bounty. His
Bounty.
essence and his presence and everything that he comes with. And Mr. Miserable back in the days, this whole
He's got that unique voice.
Yeah, the voice and the whole posture was, that menacing thing. I think that,
So you love the verses with Bounty Killer and Beanie Man.
Oh my God. One more. Beanie Man. I have to put Beanie Man.
Yeah.
That versus was oh my goodness. It was way in the pandemic. It was in the pandemic. And when that versus came, I was a happiest woman. Because, I was on my veranda and I was skinning notes and I was broken note. And it lifted my energy so much, you know.
I feel like that was the best verses that they had, because that's the
I think
culture
so,
of
too.
verses.
Definitely one of the best.
Just coming from dance hall, like verses is basically like a sound
dance hall
clash.
sound clash. Yes, I'm glad you know you see that link. Yeah, it was so incredible for me. I just remember.
And the police kept coming and knocking.
Why is that? You want to be that guy? When Beenie Man said, I was like,
Don't be that
"Do you
guy.
want to be that guy? Don't be that guy." It was like wicked. Yeah.
So what should people expect from you this weekend? Of course, it's Angela Yee Day. She does this each and every year. And what should the people expect from you?
Well, they should expect me be bringing who I am. I love performing. I love my stage. I love everything that I do. Whining and dancing and singing.
And can guys
people
whine?
bring some
No,
people
guys
up.
can't whine.
Of course they can.
Yeah, I always see guys whining, especially now. It's okay. Back in the days, man and man never did want whining. It's just like, you know, it's
Just
like,
stand up.
yeah, I was just like, no, only women whine. It's has changed so much drastically, because I'm seeing men whining and they're doing a very, very good job of whining. So yeah, man can't whine. Why you ask me, Envy, you want to whine?
No.
No,
but
but
I'm
Envy,
drag you up in on Saturday and say, come do a bad wine, Envy.
Envy could do it. Envy wears a waist trainer.
I do not wear a waist trainer. I do not wear.
We actually have video.
It was a joke.
Oh my God.
It was a joke. Lady Sutherland, we appreciate you.
And
joining.
I appreciate you so much. I can't even thank you enough for just being, you know, available to do this for me. It means a lot to the community. I know everybody's going to be super hyped to see you. I know
super
I
hyped
am.
to be there. And congratulations. You're
Thank you.
such a queen. I really hope you listen to that song.
Oh, I did. I watched the video, listened to the song. I love
Big
it.
up yourself. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm
And
proud
shout
of
out to
what you're
VP
gonna do.
Records, too.
Big up VP Records. Big up Neil. Big up Richard. Big up Chris. Big up Miss Pat. If I start, I'm going, you know, be here for the
That's right. Well, it's Lady Sutherland. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Well, Irv Gotti is trending for something that he said during episode 3 of the Murder, Inc. story docuseries. This aired Tuesday night on BET, and in the latest episode, Irv Gotti's talking about the day that he, I guess, made a move on Ashanti.
She used to wear these juicy sweats and her ass was looking fat. Her ass was looking great. So one day, I was like, yo, I'll take you home. She said, bet, cool. I walk her to her front door of her crib. She turns to say goodbye. And I just kiss her and grab her ass. And just, mwah.
All right, so a lot of social media backlash from that. I saw Ashanti posted, "I love y'all, LOL," because I guess people were going in for that.
Yeah, us cancers talk way too much sometimes, and somebody really needs to tell Irv, none of this is advancing the story of Murder, Inc. Like, every time he tells these Ashanti stories, I'm like, I don't need any of that. Like, you can tell the story of the Murder, Inc., you know, crew, discuss the legacy without adding any of those details. I know it's a tell-all documentary, but that's, damn, I don't need any of that.
People were also
personally.
commenting on how she was only 19 years old at the time, and you know, he was the head of the label, so Ashanti's like, just
I mean,
leave
listen,
me alone.
it's great. It's great for the doc, though, right? And I also wonder if Ashanti regrets not being a part of the documentary, because all of these things are being said about her, and I'm sure she got reached out to be a part of the documentary.
Oh no, he definitely said he definitely reached out to her. She definitely
declined.
didn't. He asked her mom, her sister,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking Ashanti's probably going to do her own doc, you know, because, you know, if they're not speaking, they're not talking, they're not in good terms, and she says something that's not necessarily in favor of Murder, Inc., she might feel like they might pull it. So I'm sure she'll do her own documentary and give her own side of the story the way she wants to do it.
I don't think they would have did that to her, though. I think if Ashanti would have sat down and did the doc for BET and she told her side, I don't think they would have done that to her. I don't think they'd have pulled her side.
She doing what I would do, though. Just mind my business and just ignore it. Well, it's probably hard to ignore it, but just keep it pushing. One day she'll say what she has to say.
Now, somebody told me that Fat Joe's part was taken out. Did any?
You said
that is not true.
It is not true,
That's
because
not true.
nobody have said anything about Fat Joe's parts being in there.
I don't know if Fat Joe's part of the story has come up yet. It's a 5-part series. They only on part what?
Three.
Maybe.
Three.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
asking.
3 was this week. So they got 5. They got 2 more parts. But yeah, you know, honestly, does Ashanti have to address any of this? Because if Ashanti telling the story of her career and her legacy, she don't got to talk about who she was.
She doesn't.
Doing
Yeah.
what with.
But if she wants to, she'll
you
do
know?
it on her own time, on her own platform that she chooses to do it.
Yeah.
All right, now Magic Johnson has shut down false rumors that he was donating blood at the Red Cross. So apparently there was an image circulating on social media that showed him at a doctor's appointment in 2012 having blood drawn. And he wanted to let people know this is not true. That's not what was happening.
I feel like this rumor comes up every couple of years, though.
He said, I'm aware of the false stories circling the internet, and to be clear, I have never donated blood.
Why would he? Well, first of all, that's not true, though. I mean, not donated. You're right. He probably never donated.
He didn't donate blood.
But why would he even reply to that?
I guess it was gotten so big, he just wanted to squash it. All right, now let's
have said nothing, man.
Let's talk about the AI rapper, artificial intelligence rapper FN Mika. We talked about this before. He was signed to Capitol Records. They ended up dropping him just because there was a lot of backlash from this character that they created. And now the person whose voice they used, the alleged voice behind FN Mika, Kyle the Hooligan, is speaking out. And here's what he said on a video that he shared online.
They came to me with this AI and was like, would I want to be the voice of it? And I thought it was going to be like some collaboration. They promised me equity into the company, percentages, all this stuff. So I'm thinking like, okay, there's about to be some collab, something different for me. So I could do my music and be on some AI stuff with this FN Mika character. So everything's going good. Next thing I know, it's just ghosted me. Like, use my voice, use my sound, use the culture, and literally just left me high and dry. I ain't get a dime off of nothing. And they got record deals, all this stuff. I wasn't involved with no meetings or none of that.
Eek. Well, it's over for them. Anyway, they ended up dropping that artist.
Mm-hmm. I still can't believe people got more upset at a non-black artificial intelligence rapper using the N-word than they ever have at a non-black human rapper for using the N-word. That's still insane to me.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just that. It was a lot more to it than just using the N-word.
What else was there to it? Because whatever they would be mad at the AI rapper at, there's a real rapper they can be mad at.
Well, they were saying that a lot of black creators already don't get the credit or the finances that they should be getting. So to create this character that's not even a real person, is offensive to people who are really putting in the work and not even getting compensated or getting credit for what it is that they do. And you see Kyle the Hooligan had an issue with that too. He didn't get no money no credit for that.
These black rappers be out here acting like they getting all the money in the world.
But that outrage worked, right? They did end up dropping this artificial intelligence rapper.
Yeah. So. And to that point, Yee, I wonder if folks know quite possibly they have the power to single-handedly change the type of content artists put in their music. If they have this kind of pushback over every artist that uses the N-word, every artist that celebrates gang culture, drug culture, promotes violence in their music, if they pressed artists and labels about that type of content constantly, it would shift the whole culture of hip-hop.
All right. Well, that is your rumor report.
Mm-hmm.
People's Choice Mix is up next. Let's go.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday? With DraftKings Sportsbook same-game parlays, you can pocket more cash when you combine multiple bets from one game. Download the app, sign up with code ENVY, that's ENVY, and get a special offer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, Charlamagne, you got a positive note?
I do, man. But first, I want to salute Inside Radio. Inside Radio. Yesterday, they put out their 2022 most powerful people in podcasting, and myself and the president of the Black Effect Podcast Network, Dolly Bishop, are on that top 50, as well as Will Pearson and Con O'Byrne for iHeartRadio. So dropping the clues bombs for all of us being named as some of the top 50 most powerful people in podcasting again this year. And I want to salute iHeartRadio for being the #1 podcast network according to Media Monitors. They have 17 shows in the top 200. And got to salute the Breakfast Club for being the #7 top podcast in the world. All right, because Breakfast Club does come out in a podcast form. And salute $1 Million Worth of Game and Drink Champs and Hot Box Podcasting, because they all made the top 25 as top podcast in the world. So dropping the clues bombs for everybody doing their thing in the podcast. It is a blessing.
Absolutely.
And the positive note is simply this. This came from Miss Anita Kopax. Salute to the homie Anita Kopax. She said, when we truly don't give a F about what other people think, there is no need to rebel against the status quo. Rebelling is just another extreme of caring what people think.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?